Hello guys, it's Clyde, PT3D, and well, the wiring is just about done. I have a couple more wires I gotta install, and then we can do a quick power up test and see how it goes. So I'm gonna do that with you on the camera, but before I do that, I'm gonna show you real quick some of the wiring that I did in here. Again, this machine, it's at your disposal, so if you want to know anything specific, give me the questions and I will show it to you. So let's get started. Okay, so this is like any other 3D printer, and I did it by the directions, best as I can tell. So, so far mains power is hooked up. As you can see, it goes from here, okay? So you've got your 3 wires down here. This is your mains power from the switch, okay? And then you've got your 2 black and your 2 red, which I don't know if you can see from there, but your 2 black, 2 red. These are the bigger gauge, and those ones go into this terminal. It's black, red, okay? And then right here you've got constant power for your fan, which is right here. I'm probably going to put a bigger fan on here because, well, it kind of makes me nervous having it like that. I still have to do the wiring for the other fan. Not sure where that goes yet. I haven't gotten that far in the steps yet. So right now I've got these 2 that I got to hook up. These are the 2 wires from the hot end. And I got these 2 wires I got to hook up, and these are for the heated build plate. So I'm going to do that now. You got your stepper motors are right here. This is your X, Y, Z, and E, which is the extruder. Up here you've got your limit switches. And the limit switches are backwards, I believe, to that. I think it's Z, X, and Y, I think. So let me check real quick. Alright, so it's Z, Y, and X. And then you got your thermistors here. Okay, you've got your thermistor here for the heated build plate. And then the red wire here is the thermistor for the hot end. Okay, so one of the hardest parts to do on this project, oh sorry, you probably didn't even see that. Alright, hold on, let me, I apologize, I'm not looking at the camera. Okay, so again, this right here is your mains power going to the board. These are the 5-inch ones that you cut. Okay, you can see the terminals right there, how they're lined up. Alright, the primary power coming from the switch is right here, as I mentioned. Hold on, there we go, a little fuzzy. Okay, so it's red, black, green. Okay, and then it's black to the board. As you can see, it goes to this side here, which it staggers. It goes from black, red, red. Okay, and then of course, like I said, this is your constant power for the fan. It's right here, and that mounts in right where you can see that. Okay, so right here above the 2 mains, there's that one there, and then above the other part of the mains is right here. As I was mentioning, when I realized the camera was out of adjustment or alignment, right over there, there's 2 ways to do this, okay? I think the easiest way that I found was taking the power supply itself off when you do the switch, because the screws and the nuts are a little bit difficult to get to. I used this little doohickey here to get in there and pull the nut and then tighten it back down when I put it back together. I don't know if you can see it, but I used shrink wrap that I had on hand, or shrink tubing. It's a little dark, I apologize. I don't have a flashlight to point in there, but if that becomes necessary I can do that. But anyway, so that's pretty much most of it. Let me get this back out of my way here. Alright, so now we're on the other step, which I'm kind of on the fence about. I'd really almost rather do this with the power supply out. I think it would make the approach to the board much easier. But we will give it a try without it for right now. So there's a these are the terminals that have the flat connectors on them. So getting into these is a bit tricky. I'm gonna try and bend it. I don't have those fancy tweezers or the 90-degree needle nose pliers. Those things actually seem to work really well for stuff like this. Don't cut these too long. Make sure you do about 1/4 of an inch or so. That's going to make your job a lot easier getting these in. Mine are actually just a little bit too long, which I'm not happy about, but I can work with it. Okay, so that one feels like it's good. I'm going to do one a little bit more. Alright, so we're going to work with that for now. Again, this is the extruder hot end. I know I did the bottom one, or the top one first. It was kind of a 50-50. I wasn't sure which one I was going to do. Oh, so I'm guessing probably in terms of the directions, I would probably try to get this part done beforehand. Seems like it would be a lot easier to wire this first. But like I said, I was kind of trying to go with the directions, so I didn't want to mess anything up horribly. But oh, whatever. This is such a pain in the butt here. Ignore my arm in the way here. The idea was to try and keep this video short, so the other thing is, anybody that's watched my videos, you know that I love to do things wrong the first time around for some reason. I don't know. I just like to, I guess I have directional dyslexia in terms of reading directions. I have this aversion to doing it right the first time, apparently. So, do not be surprised if I mess something up on this. This is why I've tried to reiterate to everybody, make sure you're following the directions when you do this, because I really don't want to be responsible for your project failure or mishap. Not that I'm saying I'm going to mess this up at all, but again, it's a Murphy thing, just to be on the safe side. I'm going to redo this one because I'm really not happy with it. So I'm having to back these way out just to make sure that I have enough room to get in here. I was kind of hoping that this just moving the power supply out of the way a little bit would kind of help a little, but it's still very tight in here to work with. It's definitely easier though. And really, mean, what's it going to cost you? A couple of seconds to line the screws back up? So, I would say this is the easier approach to this. Nice and snug. And I got these last little doohickeys here. I gotta push some stuff out of the way. Loosen up these posts here. Terminals, whatever you want to call them. I was looking at these. I don't know if you can actually pull these off the board. You may be able to. I did not risk that attempt, only because I really did not feel comfortable trying to do that, so I don't recommend it. I should have opted for better lighting. I may go through and trim some of these off a little bit later, just to kind of make sure that I have everything seated the way I want it. But for right now, I'm going to leave it the way it is. It was a lot easier to do this the first time around. Just like the first time you put this in, I would go with the making sure you just get, all you gotta do is get one screw in. Once you get that one in, you're pretty much golden, because then all you gotta do is find the second one on the opposite side, and it's pretty quick. So, good times. So if I blow this thing up, I get the option of not posting this video, right? I mean, just checking, because I think it would be, you know, that's fair. Alright, I'm gonna leave this zoomed out for a minute, because give you a little bit better view so you're not just staring at the board. Maybe at least my arm will be more visually interesting because it moves around while I'm talking. I would do this as a live stream, but I do not have internet right now where I'm located. So, well, I mean, I have internet, I just don't have wireless that I would be using for my phone. I think the hardest part is going to be getting these wires off to the one side. And the reason for that is to kind of keep the circulation moving around. Alright, so I got one more step. I gotta find this, because I am legitimately doing this on the directions. Alright, so, well, that's interesting. I'm not seeing a step, which I may have missed, which is fine. I can go with that. But I'm looking for the fan wires, the extruder. But I am only seeing thermistor and the other stuff. Limit switches, 2 wires from the electrical box, strip the 2 wires from the hot. Oh, wait a minute, strip the 2 wires from the hot end fan, insert to the remaining positive and negative terminal. Okay, so that's actually pretty easy. So see, this is why I'm horrible at directions. Okay. So I guess these run all the time. I'm confused because this fan is wired into the same terminals. So, I mean, worst come to worst, it's just going to run them constant. So I will do this in the way it mentions. Now, let's see. I don't care for the electrical tape. I like the electrical tape on these because it's nice. It keeps everything nice and convenient. But it also creates a different problem, which is that it makes it so you have to kind of pull it off. I mean, if the tape was back a little bit farther, I would leave it on, but alright, well, since these two are going on the same terminal, it's 12 volts, so I am going to go with that. My apologies, I actually thought we'd be doing the power up test by now, but I've got to get these in here. I don't really want to have anything missed when I turn it on. And so we will have to deal with this a little bit. May have to zip tie it or use something else to kind of keep it together, but we will deal with that as we go. I have lots of stuff I need to do to this thing anyway, so. Well, that one grabbed good, didn't it? Trim a little bit of that off. And we'll pull this one out. Come here, my little friend. Really do hope this video is helpful. I do really mean that. I don't like doing videos that aren't useful. I kind of like, you know, if there's even a little bit that you can glean from this, from while I'm doing this, then I feel good about that. Of course, videos could be just absolutely horrible and everybody unsubscribes. So, but again, I do this because I enjoy it and because I like to help. So as long as I'm helping, we're good. So, wiring is complete, as far as I know. There's a whole lot of open terminals on this thing. I would definitely like to kind of do a breakdown on this one of these days and see. Alright, so this is just proof of build, and this is the wrong power coupler. I did not realize I had grabbed the wrong one. Hold on. All is not lost. I have a spare. Let's see if I can relocate it. That is. I have relocated the spare power coupler. I say power coupler, it's just a stock plug for a computer. So. Okay, so plugging it in. The mains power is activated. Well, it's not activated yet. Alright, first test. Fans are operating. Board has power. No blue smoke. Alright guys, this is looking promising. Again, I have not completed the wire management portion. The cable management portion. Alright. I want you to witness this, okay? I know that I did this slightly out of order, but I wanted you guys to see the blue smoke. Okay, so here's the display. I'm gonna try to focus in on it as good as I can. Oop, if my camera will behave. There it goes. Okay, I'm gonna do this again. There's power to the display. Now I have not done anything to this. Okay, there is no programming whatsoever. So at this point, there's just the bars on here. So I'm going to assume that I'm going to do something about this switch. Okay. I had to put some electrical tape on it. But there was a, I don't know, we'll figure it out. I may end up just doing this with it. Or I'll just put something in the end to kind of push it out a little bit. Which is probably the better way to go. So, but for now, okay, so you got this. That's how we go. Kind of like to put an e-stop switch in there. Which I don't know if I actually have one in here or not. But regardless, We have power, guys. That is exciting. I don't know if that's what the display is supposed to look like or not. So I'm gonna double check this. 'Cause I have not, like I said, I have done no programming whatsoever on this. Okay. Okay, so I've got the Arduino, Pronterface, Cura stuff to do. Yeah, so basically I've got a lot to do before this. However, let me zoom you up here. Oh, look at that. Fan blowing. Okay, so what have we learned? Well, we've learned that the FT5 is a pretty killer build, and it gets a lot of looks. People like this printer, especially when they see it in person. I am floored and excited to be playing with this. I got to do a little bit of work on this, on the extruder. There's a little bit of a wiggle in here. I'm trying to figure out why that is. I don't dare tighten this down any more than I already have. So I'm not sure. If anybody's got a suggestion on the nozzle itself and the hot end and how to kind of get this, the block, I don't know what you want to call it, where the filament goes through that into the heat break. So if you got any ideas on what I can do to fix that, I would be all loving to hear that. I have a little bit of work to do to get the nozzle straightened out. Now let's put it down there. But once I get this section straightened out, I think we'll be all set. It's just a matter of getting things tightened, and I mean, there's just so much of this is loose and it's kind of confusing. But all right, so I gotta adjust that set screw again. But yeah. So other than that, I just have to fix this so it locks in properly. It was a little bit loose, a little looser than I wanted it to be. Let's put it that way. So we'll fix that. Again, we got power, so I'm good with that. Belts are good. I gotta level the bed again because it's been moved around a bit. I'm gonna do some. Not sure where the camera cut out, but anyway, I want you guys to keep it safe. Have fun with these, and don't forget to keep innovating. And like I said, if you find this video helpful, give me comments. If you want me to focus on anything specific on here, I would be happy to do that. So if you're working on a build and you want to see if something is working right, just let me know. And like I said, I can take pictures all over this machine. So let's take advantage of that while we can. So anyway, till next time, guys. Have fun.